Hello everyone, welcome to SwitchUp as we once again have a look at some of the games coming out for the Switch in this upcoming week. In terms of dates, we'll be going from the 10th of December up until the 16th, and we'll first have a look at any games that crept out without being in one of these videos for whatever reason, before moving on to the week at hand. So which games are coming out for the Switch this week? Well, let's find out. Let's start with a few games already out, and the first is called Siralim Ultimate. This is a monster catching dungeon crawling RPG with over 1200 different creatures to attempt to collect, as well as the ability to fuse creatures together with offspring inheriting its parents' stats and traits. Dungeons are randomly generated and span 30 unique tile sets, battles are fought in a 6 vs 6 fashion, and you can choose from one of 40 specialisations for your character that change the way your creatures fight in battle. It costs £19.99 or your regional equivalent. Also already out is Kukoos Lost Pets. In this you play as the Kukoos travelling around the secret worlds hidden within the massive Kukoos tree in order to find your friends and end a pet rebellion brought on by an experiment that goes haywire. There are 12 different Kukoos and 5 unique pets, each with their own abilities, and you can play the game with up to 4 players in local multiplayer, and there are extra levels to unlock. This sells for £24.99 and as I said, it's out now. And the last for those games already out is Elevator Action Returns S Tribute. Elevator Action Returns is a great game that released back in 1995 via Taito, and this particular version is a reproduction of the home console edition released in 97. You play as one of 3 Special Forces agents looking to retrieve data from each stage whilst taking out the enemies. There is a 2-player mode as well as new quality of life features such as rewind, unlimited continues, slow-mo and save points. You can also unlock the first game in the series by clearing every stage. It costs £13.49 or your regional equivalent. Let's move on to the games coming out this week, and the first is Wavetale. This is a story-driven action-adventure game where you play as Sigrid, a young girl who befriends a mysterious shadow that provides her with the ability to walk on water. You'll be exploring the open sea and a decaying archipelago in a story centred around loss and reconciliation, all the while speeding through the waves, swinging from housetops and defeating monstrous enemies to save citizens of the island. That cel-shaded art style and the water theme of course certainly brings The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker to mind, and it will be interesting to see how it all comes together. It's out on the 12th and it will cost £24.99 or your regional equivalent. Then we have Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, which is an ARPG which first released on the PSP back in 2007. It's a prequel to the much loved PS1 classic Final Fantasy VII, and this new release is a HD remaster of that PSP game. The story revolves around Zack Fair, and the tale of Zack's dreams and honour and the legacy that connects him to Cloud are revealed as the narrative unfolds. As well as the graphics being remastered in HD, new soundtrack arrangements have been added by the original composer Takeharu Ishimoto, as well as fully voiced dialogue. The 3D models have been renewed and the battle system has been improved. This releases on the 13th and it will cost £49.99.
You know, I've never actually seen you use that. Don't you think it's sort of a waste?
Use brings about wear, tear, and rust, and that's a real waste.
Also this week we have Lil Gator Game from Platonic Friends. This is a game all about making an entire island your playground. You play as the little gator who just wants his older sister to play with him again like she used to before she got wrapped up in work. To entice her, he and his friends create an adventure on the island, and it's this make-believe quest that you will embark on. You'll be collecting arts and craft materials all around the island to use in your adventures and making new friends along the way. It has a really lovely art style and runs at a smooth 60 frames per second, and is one of those games that could genuinely appeal to younger or older gamers. It will cost £16.75 or your regional equivalent, but there is a 30% discount available off of that price up until the 21st of December. The next release is Cassiodora, a shoot 'em up where you play as one of 3 knights attempting to save the titular princess Cassiodora from an evil sorcerer. You can play in single player or with up to 2 friends in local co-op, and there are 7 regions to explore, which equates to 35 levels and huge bosses to face off against too. The blurb goes on to say that there are a range of difficulty levels to keep things accessible to everyone, and you can unlock new skins for your characters as you go along. This releases on the 15th and it will cost £15.29. Then we have the Crackpet show, which calls itself an action-packed roguelite shoot-'em-up about mutated animals fighting in a bizarre TV show. It's a solo or co-op experience, and you'll be using a host of weapons to take on the giant bosses within levels, using the perks you get along the way to turn the tide of battle in your favour. It says that death is inevitable, but you can use the fame you gain from each run, or episode as they're called, to upgrade and improve your gear, and that no 2 episodes are the same owing to procedural generation. I have to say, this does sound good. I like the idea of the fame you get being that currency that carries over between runs, and it does have that whimsical and charming feel to it. It's out on the 15th for £14.49. Next is Aery, Path of Corruption, the latest of the Aery games to release on the Switch. You play as a bird-like spirit and fly through the fault and different scenarios of the decision-making process of a hero, according to the blurb at least, and each level represents a different path that protagonist could take. There are memory shards to collect in order to advance the narrative, and they will also unlock more possible paths for you to try in the future. This is another one out on the 15th and it will set you back £9.99. The penultimate game for the week is River City Girls 2, the sequel to 2019 beat-em-up River City Girls, which itself was a spin-off of the classic Kunio-kun series. This time around there are 6 playable characters to choose from, new moves and combos, and River City itself is a much larger place with new locations with multiple routes and secret areas. You can play in single player or in 2-player co-op, either locally or online, and the soundtrack once again comes via Megan McDuffie, who was on composing duties for the first game. That original River City Girls is one of my favourite beat-em-ups of all time, so I'm very much looking forward to this sequel when it releases on the 15th.
More baddies to take down? Let's go!
Right there with ya. Way Forward is back with the sequel to the acclaimed beat-em-up River City Girls.
And finally for the week we have Panda Punch. This is a fairly cheap puzzle platformer where you play as a red panda with a bionic arm. You'll be solving puzzles, collecting coins and increasing your abilities via the blacksmith, all in the name of saving the world from evil alien robots. There are 58 levels to navigate, bosses to defeat and a host of traps, secrets and enemies to encounter along the way. I do like the look of this one. It has quite a charming pixel art style, classic chiptune music, a decent price, and it will be interesting to see how that bionic arm mechanic comes into play. It's out on the 16th and it will cost you £4.99. So there you have it, another week of Nintendo Switch releases. Do any of these games interest you at all? Will you be picking any of them up? Please do let us know in the comment section below. For me, it's going to be River City Girls 2. I'm very much looking forward to that one. I hope the audio has been okay for this video. I've had to use a different location to record in as my house is a bit of a building site at the minute. We're having some work done, so hopefully it's okay. If not, apologies, it'll be back to normal for next time. Don't forget, if you are looking for eShop credit to pick these games up, or any others for that matter, you can get your eShop cards via our website, switchup.gg. Use the code SwitchUp and you can get yourself 10% off of your order. There's also a link down there to Play Asia. Again, use the link, use the code, and you can save yourself 5% off of an order from there if you're looking to import any games. A quick thank you to our Patreons and our channel members for your continued support, and to each and every one of you for watching our videos. Take care, and until next time, happy gaming.